Sometimes you meet someone whose fire and drive can spark everyone around them to drive themselves to connect, inspire, and lead those around them. It's like a ring of fire around this person. One by one, everyone in her reach becomes consumed with being the best version of themselves because they know she believes they can be. That someone is my bestie, my sister from another mister, Mónica del Campo. Mónica and I met when we were both selling Scentsy, and our love for our hometown and drive to please our customers connected us right away. But it was her passion to realize her dream that has drawn us closer, and her mentorship that has kept me moving towards mine. Monica grew up like me in El Paso, Texas, and after high school began attending night school for nursing at the local community college, while working during the day as a receptionist for State Farm. Little did she know that State Farm would someday be her stage. After almost 15 years working in personal lines, small business commercial insurance, and personal lines underwriting, and moving her little family to San Antonio to follow her husband's dream, a door opened wide open for Monica when a close friend of hers, Yvette, was contacted by a recruiter for State Farm and told the recruiter she knew just the right person. I still remember when Monica told me 7 years ago that she had been selected to start training to become a State Farm agent. I watched her go through months and months of intensive training and testing and the tedious search for just the right place to call her own. She and I both believe in God things, and it was completely a God thing when a retiring agent offered to let her take the reins and serve the west side of San Antonio. God has also had a hand in each and every one of the people who staff her office, and it is their heart for service that has grown her business and landed Monica top awards throughout the State Farm world, most recently being appointed to the Chairman's Circle for the third time, an honor achieved by only the top 3% of agents nationwide. Join us to hear what makes Monica a champion and how her passion for serving others has helped her grow into one of the top State Farm agents in San Antonio. She inspires me every day by balancing heart and drive and always pushing to be the best while bringing those she loves right alongside her. Vámonos. Juntas somos Pasionarias. All right. Welcome, Moni. I am so glad that you are here with me today. I know between having two teenagers and your agency, time is such a precious commodity to you. So thank you that you're giving me this time to share your story and for all the way that you support me. I'm so excited that you bought a sweatshirt and some stickers. So super excited.
Yes, my dear friend. Yes, of course.
All right. So let's get started with where you came from. You grew up in a very similar Hispanic household like I did in El Paso.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the women in your home.
Yes. Well, my mom, she raised us as a single mom. My parents divorced when I was 5 years old. So my mom, I've always known her as such a hard worker, a strong woman, a woman that would sacrifice for her family. And family is everything. And she taught me, never go anywhere empty-handed. Always, help anybody who needs it. As far as, it reminds me of you and I, like when I go to your house, how can I help you, Nana? What could I take? And the same when I go anywhere, I always take something and I always help the hostess. So those are the family values that my mom taught me, and we never ever went hungry. I always had new school clothes, and she would always tell me, well, Santa, he will bring 3 gifts. So I had 3 gifts to choose from. I know that a lot of kids in my neighborhood, they could only pick one. So whatever it took, my mom got it done. And I have 2 older sisters, Melinda and Charlotte. So they were huge mentors of mine growing up. And selfless, independent women. And then when I think about my aunts, My tia Rita, she came from Italy. She learned English. She got her GED. She got a job, um, and raised her kids. Those are the women that I was surrounded with, and they raised the same leaders, independent, strong women that I still to this day look up to.
And you're so close. I mean, just I see the relationship between you and the cousins and your sister and your nieces and all that. And all of that is just embedded in you guys, that the family has to come first. So
yes, tight knit family.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about college. So we talked a little bit about this the other day, that, you know, you started off, you were going to do nursing. So how did that change?
Well, my mom, she worked in a hospital for about 20 years. She was in medical billing and collections. She worked in the business office. So I loved going to the hospital and just visiting her and visiting the gift shop. Of course, I would always get a little special teddy bear or whatever. She would spoil me. And I just had something of like a passion to see these nurses and doctors. And I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to help people. So, Nina, I wanted to be a registered nurse. I had my sights set on that. And I started, attending EPCC, El Paso Community College, to get my basics. And I was very fortunate to get a part-time job at State Farm. So I would work 8 to 5 every day, and then I would go to school.
That's not part-time. That's full-time.
Right? That's what I kept telling myself. I'm going to work part-time, go to school full-time. But it turned out to be a full-time job and full-time school. And, I just got used to it. I just dealt with it because, Nana, I needed to pay for my gas. I needed to pay for my car payment. I needed to pay for my own insurance. My mom, she couldn't help me much. Of course, she supported me with everything she could. I mean, I was just thinking about it the other day, Nina. I opened my first checking account at GCU when I was 18. I still have that account there. And I remember when I got my first vehicle. This is crazy, but my car payment was $35 every 2 weeks.
Wow.
So what we did is I worked at State Farm part-time, well, full-time. I did work there, and there was a teacher that was selling her 300ZX. It was a 1984, and she was selling it for $3,000. So my mom put in $1,500, and then I financed $1,500. My car payment was $35 every 2 weeks. But listen, I had a nice little sports car going on,
Sounds like a great car.
Everything I had, everything I've ever owned, I worked for. So that's why, I went to school at night, and it worked out. I don't even know what it's like going to school during the day. So I little did I know, Nina, that working at State Farm was something that I really loved. I absolutely had this connection with all my customers. Like, as soon as they met me, we became instant friends. I felt like I have a talent for this. I have a talent for this. Possibly I could do this as a career.
Okay.
So I started making money and selling insurance. I got licensed, and that's when it happened. I switched career paths, and I decided to stick with sales. And the rest is history, I tell you.
Okay, so now you're working in insurance in El Paso?
No, actually, we lived in El Paso for, my entire life until 2008, when my husband, Gabriel, he got this wonderful opportunity to move to San Antonio. He got this great job offer. And, he knows how tight knit my family is, my aunts, my uncles, my mom, and a couple of best friends from my high school, Rebecca and Lori. And he said, listen, I got this great job opportunity. I know how close you are to your mom. And what do you think about moving over there? We don't have to move. I said, Gabe, I love my mom with all my heart and soul, but I didn't marry my mom. I married you. So I'm not the type of girl to hold a man back. Let's do it. Let's be brave and courageous together. I was thinking, I'm not going to hold this guy back. This guy, he was a hard worker, and there's only so much that he could do at the job he was at.
Mm-hmm.
He had reached his maximum opportunity. And when he got offered this other job, it was going to be just the beginning, and he could grow the company. Mm-hmm. So why not? We took a leap of faith, Nina, and we did it. My daughter was 1, and my son Angel was 4. So we did move here in 2008, and we just moved on faith. All our family helped us pack everything in a U-Haul. The funny part is we sold our home in 2 days.
Wow.
In El Paso, we sold our home immediately. I'm a firm believer that I pray about it and I say, God, lead me. You tell me the path to take and I'll follow. Mm-hmm. So things seemed relatively easy. As soon as I got to San Antonio, I had 4 job interviews lined up.
Wow.
I knew I wouldn't have a problem finding a job. So immediately what I did was look for a pediatrician, look for a daycare, and look for a job for myself. It was not a problem whatsoever. And things have been good since we moved here.
I think it's crazy how you and I are almost exactly 10 years apart. You're 10 years younger than me. And but we moved here almost exactly 10 years before you did. And my kids were also 1 and 4 and 6 when we moved here. And, we said, you know what, San Antonio is just, it just seems like a really great place to raise a family. And there's so much to do. And we had fallen in love with the city, and it just has been such a blessing to us. And, we're kind of like you guys. You had half of your family up in Dallas, half of the family in El Paso. We were the same way, except it was El Paso and Texarkana. So we were kind of in the middle.
Yes. And I know you're the same. Fear is a liar. So
absolutely,
we cannot fear by getting ahead. If we listen to fear, fear doesn't come from God. We can't be held back by fear. So I'm a firm believer in let go, let God. And it's worked.
So then how did you go into commercial insurance?
So as soon as I got here, I went to the job interviews. By the second interview, I was hired at Insurance One Agency, and they are on Embassy Suites, small commercial. That was going to be my department, small commercial. And I really loved it. I loved it so much. I met so many people there. And you know what? I had plans to stay there. I had no intention of leaving. I even got the Employee of the Year award there. And they had a party and a ceremony. I even won a trip to Escondida. It's a beautiful place owned by the Texas Country Reporter. And that was the first time that anybody has ever gotten this award their first year. But I loved that job so much. I loved it. I was grateful. I did, I did translate because they did need Spanish speaking. So I remember translating a lot for different producers that didn't speak Spanish. And lo and behold, my former employer in El Paso, he had recommended me to the president of National Unity Insurance Company, Ramon Rodriguez. And he said, hey, Monica moved to El Paso about a year ago, and she would be great if you ever need a personal lines expert. So I was kind of leaving the personal lines business behind, which is auto, home, motorcycle, and going more into the commercial because I wanted to learn more. Of course, the more you know. But Ramon Rodriguez, he was relentless. He wanted to hire me as a personal lines underwriter for his insurance company, and it was just down the street. So I said, I'll tell you what, I'm so happy here. I'm learning a lot, but I'll go over there and I'll interview, and whatever you need help with, I'll help you. You don't have to pay me. And he's from El Paso too, and he used to go door to door selling insurance. And, I was highly recommended from my former boss in El Paso. So I went. I felt like I was at home when I went to interview, and he gave me such a wonderful feeling. I believe in that, when you make a connection with somebody and you just know. Mm-hmm. I immediately knew that I had to pursue this opportunity as an underwriter. So it would be something different that I've never done before. I'm usually face-to-face with the client, but this time I was just dealing with agents and underwriting home and auto. And guess what? I really honestly feel that job prepared me for becoming a State Farm agent because we started that department from the ground up. We started everything as far as even the programming, the, hiring a marketing person to help us with the product, to even hiring somebody to help me. I felt like I got the leadership skills that I needed. And, I just believe that it was God's plan the way everything worked out. I had other plans, I had plans to sell small commercial and be happy with that. But I know that some of those challenges that I faced at National Unity were to help me get stronger in my future role as a State Farm agent, leading a team. I've never led a team before, and National Unity gave me that. So I really enjoyed it for 5 years, Nina, but it just, I don't know, I feel like maybe I was a little bit restless. I missed the interaction with the people. I love people so much. I love people, and it shows because as soon as someone walks into my office, I offer them a donut or a cookie and coffee, and we sit down and we talk. If somebody wants to come into my office or they want to say hi, of course I greet them with a big hug, and I always buy little gifts when I see something and that reminds me of someone, and I put them in my desk. And if I see a customer that I haven't seen in such a long time, I just, look, I bought this candle. It reminded me of you, and I want you to have it. So that's what I missed. I missed the people. And when I had the opportunity to become a State Farm agent, I was scared. Of course I was. I was so worried. Like, me becoming a State Farm agent, I would be the boss? Oh my goodness. I don't even know. No, I think you have the wrong person. But
so tell us a little bit about how that came about, and like what kind of hoops did you have to jump through just to get accepted?
Well, my good friend Yvette Cheesebrew, she's from El Paso, and we've become very good friends. She lived in San Antonio. She was recruited by a State Farm recruiter, and she's like, nope, you know what? I am not interested, but I know somebody who is. So she told me, do you mind if I give you this guy's phone number? He's looking for a State Farm agent, and I think you'd be perfect. So I said, well, sure, I guess it wouldn't hurt, but I don't know, I don't think I have what it takes. Well, she said, just call him. So I called him. I told him the same thing, and he's like, girl, how do you know? Why don't we just do a phone interview together? Let's just start there, a phone interview. Nothing to lose. 15 minutes. So we did the phone interview, Lena, and of course, I love this guy. We bonded instantly. He's like, I don't see why you couldn't do this. I said, well, what's the next step? He told me, look, there's 10 steps to becoming an agent. You're going to take a series of personality tests, and then I'm going to teach you how to go for, like, let's just say you're going to have these opportunities available. There's one at Elotes. There's another one at 1604 in Braun. There's another opportunity available at Bandera on the west side. These are all opportunities of agents that are retiring. So we will take you to these opportunities and see, what you think would be the right place for you. And if this gentleman named Jake Jacobson, if he likes you, he will take you around town showing you these opportunities. So I said, okay, let's meet this guy, Jake. Let's meet him. And we met I'll never forget this. We met at BJ's at the Rim. And I remember getting off work, and I was in such a rush because I was so busy at my job, dedicated, busy. I went into the restroom at the Palladium movie theater to freshen up. And then I met him at the Rim real quick, like just. By the end of that meeting, he said, are you available Saturday so we can go look at these opportunities that are right now? They are open. I said, what? Okay. Yes, I'm available on Saturday. And that's when he took me around town. So I'll tell you what, this is hilarious, but I called the recruiter and I said, so what do you think? Did this man, Jake Jacobson, did he like me, or do I go on to the next step? He's like, girl, are you kidding? Yes, he liked you. Yes. He's taking you around fast track town. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's taking you to these places because these places could be your next office. I was like, what? It's all right. Well, let's do it. What's next? And so I just kept saying, what's next?
Yeah. And you mentioned that one of them was in Elotes, one of them was on 1604, but you ended up on the west side. So what about having your office on the west side drew you there?
Well, of course I wanted Elotes because I live very close to Elotes. And my church is there, Our Lady of Guadalupe. That's my community. My daughter, she went to dance in Elotes, so I wanted Elotes. That was my first choice. But Jake said, I want you to meet Elva Garza. She is on the west side of San Antonio. She was one of the first women San Antonio agents, Hispanic, former teacher at Edgemere. And she was an agent for 30 years, Monica. And she loves people like you. She takes care of her people. Just meet her. I said, okay. Well, Nena, when I met her, I said, this is everything I believe in. This woman, she said, I don't want to just leave my office to anyone. I want to leave my office to somebody that is going to take care of my customers. She's like, I've been there from the beginning. When my customers got married, they had kids. And now, I attend funerals. I'm retiring. She retired to spend more time with her family. And she said, there's nothing I would love more than someone like you to take over my agency. We prayed over my business plan. That's when I knew, Nina, I have to be on the West Side. It's an underserved community. There's not that many State Farm agents around. But you know what? I said, those are my people. Who better than me to help them? Because that's where I came from. And people feel it, Nina. They feel it. They feel loved. They feel important. And I do my darndest to make sure that my team has the same exact passion and feeling towards our customers that I do. They know the customer is everything. Without them, we wouldn't have a job. So it was decided for me. I just, I leave it to my intuition.
So tell me about your team that you just mentioned. You call them your dream team. So tell me about the qualities that you looked for in the people that staff your office.
Nina, in this business, I had a very good friend of mine. His name is Dan, and he had told me, listen, he went to my graduation when we graduated from internship to become agents. He said, you're going to get knocked down. I guarantee it. You will fall. Maybe it will be an employee, that something went wrong. It could be financial. It could be the death of your first death benefit, because of course we sell life insurance and we're there when they need us most on their worst days. You get close to these people. So he said, something will happen. You will fall. But I want you to know what's most important is how quickly will you get back up. You have got to get back up. You have to get back up. It's like perseverance times 10. He told me that I'd never, ever forget. So, my dream team, Nina, they are strong, independent women. I have hired men in the past, and they have been hard workers, knowledgeable. AJ Mireles, he was a blessing in disguise. And he was all about the customer as well. But when I look for somebody to work on my team, I look for strength. They have to be passionate and, caring. They have to have empathy. Empathy, because we have to put ourselves in our customer's shoes. What are they going through? How do they feel after the accident? How are they doing after they lost their job or their loved one? So the people that are on my team, Nina, it just so happens that they have been through a lot and they have prevailed big. And it's just to getting to know them. Of course, I don't know everything as soon as I interview them. I don't know all of their life. But I make it a point to serve my team, get to know my team. And I know by learning about their strengths, their weaknesses, I know by what they've been through and what they've overcome that they're the right person for the job. And everybody has a story. Everybody is fighting a battle. Let me tell you, these women on my team, they are strong women with a lot of challenges that they have overcome. And that's when I know they're going to make it. Because in this business, you have to be strong. You have to be compassionate and hardworking, driven, motivated. So what motivates them? You know what motivates them is their family, just like you and I. We work so hard because we want to make the next generation better than ours, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I want, is to prepare my kids for whatever they are facing in the future, to educate them, to teach them, hey, work hard, sacrifice, you can do anything you want to. And they've seen it firsthand through me. So, of course, I believe in leading by example. There's no other way.
Tell me about we talked about how proud you are of your friends, Pat Cantu and Lily Hernandez, becoming agents. Yeah. What did you see in them, and how did you mentor them as they were coming through the training and opening their agencies? I mean, obviously, you know, they maybe went through a different path than you did, but how did you help lead them?
Let me tell you, Pat Cantu became an agent a little bit after I did. And I even spoke to my sales leader about this. I think it was maybe last week when we were in Houston. And I told him, when I first started on your team, which was San Antonio West, there was only 2 women and myself. 2 women. One was a young Hispanic woman, and she was wonderful, a total rock star. And the other woman was an experienced 30-year-old talented agent. But I really didn't fit in like I am just brand new, and really nobody looks like me. Nobody has the background I do. You know, I just felt very, am I enough? Do I have what it takes? Because these young, brilliant women, one with so much experience, the other with so much education. I wonder how I'm ever going to do this, but lo and behold, Nina, more and more women were getting hired, women I could relate to. When Pat came in, she had 2 young children like I did, hardworking. I could relate to her, and we bonded instantly. We helped each other through everything, even if it was like a little bit of advice with an employee, or a little bit of advice even with our own kids. We have kids the same age. We had something in common, that we were going to do whatever it took to get our permanent State Farm contract. And that's what it takes, is like sacrifice, working 7 days a week if we have to, whatever it takes to get the job done. That's what Pat had. So I noticed this. Lily Hernandez, she opened her agency a little bit after me. This woman is from El Paso. Lily started from the bottom, worked herself up. Lily worked at the bank center in El Paso. She became a supervisor. And then she became a recruiter. She recruited agents. And she went through the corporate ladder and finally became an agent when she felt the time was right. And I just love that these stories of these women pretty much the same background as you and I. What we go through, balancing children, balancing our husbands, balancing our current jobs. But you know what? We do whatever it takes to get the job done. So I relate with women like us, you know, women with children, women that are married, women that are balancing everything. And having somebody by your side, supporting you, guiding you, telling you you are enough. It makes all the difference in the world. It makes all the difference in the world because even in my internship class, I went to school for about 9 months before I was able to become an agent. Nina, there were 24 students. Only 4 were female. I was the only Hispanic woman. We had 2 white women, 1 black woman. So I said, I've got to make it because I'm representing. I am representing and I'm going to make it no matter what. I'm not going to give up.
And I think that's
representing the Latinas.
Yeah, that's so important what you said that, you know, when you started, nobody looked like you. And now, you know, there was a billboard with your face on it in the middle of the West Side. Your face was like 15 feet tall, you know, and little girls are driving by and going, look, Mom, you know, there's a Latina up there. So I think that's just so awesome that you are paving the way. So speaking of little girls, let's talk about your family for a minute. So we are about to celebrate your daughter Ana's quinceañera, pretty in pink. So how are you raising her to be a pasionaria?
She's my pride and joy. So is my son Angel. You know what, Nina? I always tell him, like, everything I do, it's for you guys. I am showing you what you have to do in life. If you want something, you have to work for it. Nobody is going to just give it to you. You have to go for it, believe in yourself, work hard, and do it. So my kids have seen me, Nina, when I would wake up in the morning going to I was in the agent internship program. You had to get so many licenses to become an agent, to even qualify. I remember studying from 7 a.m. They would come home at about 3 p.m. I would take a break and eat with them and then get back to studying until midnight. You know, my husband Gabe even joked with me and said, oh my gosh, you're still in your pajamas and it's already 5 p.m. I said, I know, I have so much to do. I want to make sure I pass the first time. These are, Series 6, Series 63 financial tests that I had never, ever had any experience with. So, of course, they give you 3 chances to pass, and I knew I had to pass the first time. I wasn't going to let something like a test stop me. So the kids, they saw me, dedicate myself to this cause that I believed in, to making my dream come true. I've always wanted to run my own agency. I've always wanted to be a business owner. I always wanted financial freedom, and I always wanted the opportunity to just leave if I have to. If my mom gets sick, then I'm going to leave. Or if my kids need me, I'm going to leave. And I struggled with that in my previous jobs because I do have my elderly parents in El Paso, and I remember when My kids were sick when we moved here. My daughter was 1, and she would have an earache. The nurse would call me, and I would ask, my daughter's sick, could I please go and take the afternoon off to pick her up? And, I had a hard time getting off work. I had a hard time. Like, if you leave, you'll lose your job. Or can't your neighbor pick them up? Or what about your husband? Aren't you married? Like, I said, Nana, if I ever have my own business, I will never, ever treat anybody like that. I will make sure they have the flexibility and the freedom to work from home, even bring their kids home if they have something that's not contagious, like an ear infection. So just to get back to the story is, I believed in having my own agency, treating people right, supporting people. So I told my daughter, this is something I really want, and I'm going to work for it, and I'm going to get it. I remember, and I learned, I'm still taking tests. I just passed a test last year for becoming a mortgage loan originator. And I remember I studied so hard for 1 week. Well, when I came home, my daughter had made a homemade chocolate cake for me, and she had written, "Congratulations, Mom." And I said, "Mija, how did you know I was going to pass, baby? How did you know I was going to pass?" It was a hard test, and a lot of people don't pass the first time. And she's like, "Mom, you're the type of person, Mom, you taught me that whatever you want, you can do it. And you've studied so much, Mom. Of course you were going to pass." So I took a picture of her holding the cake, and I sent it to my boss, my sales leader. I said, "Look, my daughter, she made me the cake before she knew I would pass." And he's like, "Monica, what you are teaching your daughter right now is priceless. Way to go, Mom." They're watching us, right? They're watching us. So that was a proud mom moment. I think the most I like about making my dreams come true is not making my dreams come true, is my kids watching me. That is everything.
That is so awesome. So
Thank you.
I imagine that there are a lot of pasionarias out there that are still punching a clock, still pushing pencils around, still, shooting daggers through their eyes at their boss,
Yes.
and dreaming of having their own business. What is your advice for them?
Mm-hmm. My advice would be, do it. Take a leap of faith. If you're good at it, you believe in it, you believe in yourself, you could do it. There is so much help out there, Nena. There is help for small business owners, small business loans, especially minority women. Black-owned business, Latina-owned business, women-owned business. It's just all about getting to know what resources are available to you. And of course, you can come to me and I will help you. I will guide you, because I believe in paying it forward. For all the blessings and all the favor bestowed on me, I am ready to pay this forward. So my advice would be, go for it. And I promote small business owners, women, young men. It doesn't matter. The youth in general. And I want to make myself available to anybody that needs help. Just fear is a liar. Don't ever let fear or money, and I almost didn't become an agent because I said, you don't have the money to open an office, and what am I going to do? No. That's what there's loans for. of course, we have to, spend a little money to make a little money. But if you do things right, you could do it. You can do it. And we need more women out there.
Well, you and I always talk about surrounding yourselves with people that recognize your greatness. So for one, I recognize your greatness, and I'm so grateful to have you as a friend and for your support of my business, whatever that may be, at the time. So now it's Somos Pasionarias. And I know that you can see my vision, and that it's going to be, even though it's all consuming at first, with success comes more time with all of those that you that are important to us. And I'm looking forward to time around your pool very soon. And that's a true reward, is being able, like you said, to have the freedom to spend time with those people that you love and reap the rewards. And so I can't wait to see you break more barriers as a Latina agent and to continue to lead and mentor so many other people. So thank you so much for being a part of my podcast today.
Nena, I am so proud you chose me. I am very proud of you. You are definitely an educated chingona, and I look up to you so much, Nena.
Well, thank you. We'll have to take a picture with our Pasionara t-shirts on.
Yes, girl. I ordered mine today, girl.
All right. Well, have a good night. Thank you. Bye.
Good night, Nena. Love you, girl.
Love you too. Bye-bye.